Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video you guys have been asking for a while. A video on armaments. Okay guys, I'm gonna be very honest. You guys definitely had to force this one out of me. Disclaimer, I don't know the exact percentages on everything. I'm going to tell you guys what I do for armaments, where I put specific armaments, how I roll specific armaments, what I look for, okay? These are the things that I do. Just like the Crystal Tech video, this is like conceptually what I look for. I don't know what the best stuff is. And that's because I don't want to say nobody knows what the best stuff is. This is just my napkin math on stuff, okay? So be gentle. Without further ado, let us hop in. So the first thing I want to cover here is what I look for in a piece. What would make me roll it and why I would, right? So the first thing I would look for, if you're going to be attaching an inscription should be attached on a piece that is damn near perfect. I would generally not take anything less than 3.0% for attack or movement speed, defense or movement speed, and health, or 1.6 to 2.0 all damage is also fine as well. If you're going to be putting hunter on something, which you know you guys are all going to have 1 or 2 hunters laying around, the thing you inscribe it onto better be phenomenal. Phenomenal is crazy. It better be fantastic. It better be phenomenal. Like this piece, I ripped it, and as soon as I saw it, this was uninscribed, and I was like, okay, boom, hunter's going on this immediately, right? I didn't really have to overthink it. Now, is hunter as an inscription supposed to go on every march? No, hunter does a lot better with single target. It does okay as an AoE in the cases like ZL Herman, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, if you're going to put a special inscription on something, let the stats be really good. Next, when do I want to roll things? I roll damn near everything I get. Every single time that I see some kind of special inscription, I want to roll it. I know what you're thinking. Well, what if, is this inscription better? Is this inscription better? The fact of the matter is, the vast majority of inscriptions do not matter at all. If it's a double inscription, it might matter a little bit, but the thing is the majority of inscriptions, you're going to be able to get special inscriptions for later, and you're going to be able to replace if you really like the stats. I would focus on the stats first and inscriptions later. If you have really good statted pieces, then you can start to consider the inscriptions. However, in terms of rolling, especially if you're like a lower spender, you're not going to have access to that many stones, right? So let's say over here we have combo. I rolled this, I got 3 archer stats. I'm pretty sure I may have just locked archer attack and just rolled it a few times. When I roll stuff, generally I like to find a piece that has like no transmutes on it, like this one. Usually it's going to have like trash stats, like it's going to be like this. I mean, like maybe attack is worth locking here because it's attack and then I can get like defense and movement down here. But usually if I wouldn't lock this, retaliation deals 2.5% more counterattack damage of all types. I don't care about this. I'm gonna be very honest, it doesn't matter to me. So this would be something that I transmute, right? If I had 10 chances to transmute, I would transmute it a couple times to see if I could get a stat above 3. Generally, a stat above 3 that I consider locking, probably be health, but I don't know if I just want 1 stat above 3 or if I'd want like 2 to consider locking, just because I don't know how many stones I have overall and how close I am to a best in slot. If all of your best in slots are really strong, so for example, this is my backup infantry piece. Just to put in perspective how strong my epics of Olympia are for infantry, they're pretty strong. So at this point, if I see anything with infantry attack, like I'm probably never locking it. Let's take this piece, for example, right? This is a really strong piece, right? This is worth locking in some scenarios, the defense at the very least, but sometimes even the defense and health. Like this health isn't great, but it's not horrific. The movement speed here is pretty decent because especially when you're chasing things down, you're gonna drop battle every so often, being able to get the extra movement speed can be good. I would never in my entire life lock or re-roll these infantry stats considering the other 2 infantry pieces I already have. On the other side of things, like this archer piece, this wants to get double locked and rolled. Right? Like this archer piece, this is not going to get rolled because we also have the other archer piece that we saw earlier, right? We also have this combo archer piece. So we have 3 really good ones. So generally, we don't really have to roll everything. Now, in terms of cavalry, my best in slot cavalry piece is an epic. So every time I see a scroll, I'm generally trying to roll 1 stone to just see if I can get whatever cab pieces I get, and you know, I roll a couple times and see if I get anything good. This piece is a pretty good example of this. So this is a scenario where I wouldn't mind locking the defense. It's not a 3.5, but it's a 3.2, and because it's a 3.2, being able to roll these other 2 stats, this could be attack or movement speed, this could be health or damage, right? You can get a few extra stuff. I find damage to be a lot rarer than health. I don't know what the exact stats on that are, but like if I already get like 1.6 to like 2 like all damage on the bottom, I'd definitely lock that and I'd definitely be rolling that down, which is why I find this piece to be so valuable. So again, whenever I see any type of special inscription, I generally just go to roll it at least like 3 times, unless it has stats that are necessarily lockable. It's like these stats are pretty decent. So like I'd probably go for a double lock here, and I'd be looking for like movement speed or defense in the middle. But that's how I look to lock. Now I'm not going to be looking to lock this for a while, because I want to make sure that my best in slots for everything else are at least at a decent spot. Being able to roll for one transmutation stone every time is pretty good. Like I rolled this 2 separate times. So for 2 stones, I got a piece that was literally absolute hot garbage beforehand into this piece. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen every single time, but you have many more chances for that to happen when you're rolling for 1 stone rather than when you're locking 1, rolling for 3, or locking 2 and rolling for 5. Especially if you're like a low spender or free to play, you're just not going to have that many armaments. Things that I look for, I generally just look for raw stats. Can I put the highest stuff on one of these? Yes, yes, yes. Generally, I won't put epics on my thing unless I've just started. Blue should probably never have a place. I would not be too concerned about just recycling all your epics and all your blues, unless they're the best in slot right now and you've equipped them onto your commander. Then they won't auto recycle when you go to recycle over here. You just go to quality, go to epic, elite, select all, multi-select, right? And then we just kill whatever's extra. You really want to save something, you definitely can. Like I've saved a few random stuff here that honestly doesn't matter. I've just saved it because I think the stats are interesting or something like that. You're going to get so many armaments, it's not really that big of a deal. But again, I would not really focus on anything other than Special Inscribe. Special Inscribe comes in, you want to roll it like 3 times. You don't really want to roll Arch or anything like that. You want to specifically just roll Wedge. And whenever you get a pick 1 chest, you pick 1 everything for Wedge. The reason why you want everything for Wedge is because you're going to be looking for 1 cavalry march. It's going to be like Nevsky Joan, an archer march, which is like ZL Herman, an infantry march, which is like Scipio LC. All 3 of these marches don't really mind having the extra skill damage. The infantry march, you could argue, would do better with Arch, but you want to be able to just pick up a bunch of wedges so you can have, you know, 1, and then your next cavalry march is going to be like QB, whatever the new cavalry commander is going to be after that. Your next infantry march is probably going to look something like, I guess you might have like Guan Scipio, LC Gorgo. So the Guan Scipio is going to want Wedge, LC Gorgo is going to want an Arch, or maybe you have like Guan Scipio, Alex LC, and then the Alex LC, you know, you can have either one. Anyway, point is, Wedge is really good. Pick 1s, go to Wedge. Transmutation stones, go as wide as possible to try and get best in slot for all of your marches. Once you have like 2 good slots for all of your marches, then you can start to invest into heavier stones. So when I have a good best in slot for my 2 cab marches, 1 of my in marches, a probably Arch for 1 of my marches, and then my 1 archer march, right? Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to start rolling for higher things. So like this is probably going to get reset and rolled, or I'm probably going to go to something like this cavalry piece and roll this instead, right? We have 9 transmutes here. These are both pretty good stats. I probably wouldn't mind rolling this. Anyway, point is, get all of your equipment slots to be pretty good. Then you can start focusing on things you want to be very good. Shouldn't be too revolutionary. Overall, don't waste your stones. Look for 3.0 or 1.6 all damage plus in stats before you even consider locking them. Generally, you don't really want to be locking stuff if you're looking at a video like this, and just try to build out your marches. I think overall armaments are not too complicated. These basics should take you a long way. If you guys disagree with any of this, you can feel free to type it in the comments, and you know, I'll respond to some of them, because you know, this isn't a science, right? Like I don't have all of the data on this. This is kind of what I've spitballed. I think my sets look pretty good, but again, a lot of it comes down to luck. I just try to make sure that I have the most chances to have good luck possible. If I was not rolling in the way that I was rolling, I would never have an imp set in the way that I do, right? Because my imp set, like I have 1 really lucky piece, which is going to be this one on the top left. You know, the rest of these like are rather rolled, right? And they just come from a discipline of stones. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you drop a like, a follow, consider subscribing. If you guys don't want notifications when we go live or when we post a video, make sure you go to the Discord in the description below, and you guys go to the role selection tab and turn on announcement and stream notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, please consider donating to the Streamlabs link in the description below. And if you guys want your own coaching session, you guys go to that same Discord, you go to the tickets section, and you create a ticket. It's $35 for an on-stream session and $75 for an off-stream session. Guys, thank you so much for showing up, and I'll see y'all later.